Some dare call it conspiracy.
Welcome to the Some Dare Call It Conspiracy podcast, hosted by Brent Lee and Neil Sanders. After nearly 20 years exploring the world of conspiracy culture, we are taking our guests and listeners on a guided tour of the rabbit hole. Our mission? To discover where the truth lies.
So, obviously, Garth and Coco are going to continue to skate over everything. So, I'm afraid we had to pull out the big guns if we wanted to fully explain this from the perspective of the conspiracy world. So, unfortunately, I had to read Illuminati in the Music Industry by Mark Dice.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm ever so sorry.
No. Not Mark Dice. He's such an insufferable bastard.
Yes, he is, I'm afraid. Like, he really is. He's as at one point on InfoWars, I don't think he really appears on there anymore. In fact, they may have even fell out. But he's one of these satanic imagery and everything. Like, it could have been worse. We could have gone Vigilant Citizen. But we decided to go Mark Dice because, he put it all together in one handy but shit book. So it was all there to be seen. So, Illuminati in the Music Industry by Mark Dice. It opens like this. Practically everyone has seen or heard the satanic symbolism used by rock and heavy metal bands, particularly dating back to the 1980s, where Ozzy Osbourne, Motley Crue, and many others incorporated satanic pentagrams, images of devils, and even dramatized human sacrifices into their performances and lyrics. And I'm just going to stop you there. It's like, because there's something that really annoys me about Motley Crue, other than the fact that they exist, is the fact that the use of the umlauts, which are over the O and the U, right? So Motley Crue should, if we're being technically correct, should be pronounced Mötley Crüe. That's how it is. Like that's canon. Like they put that in, so it's Mötley Crüe. So anyway, but after a while, the whole satanic shock rock fad faded into the past, with most musicians eventually abandoning satanic imagery and themes. This was not the end of the story, though, because accusations of Satanism and secret messages would resurface again in the 21st century, and weren't just limited to heavy metal or rock bands. Blatant satanic symbolism made a strong comeback, this time in rap and hip-hop, and also in many seemingly family-friendly teen idols, including female pop stars who are household names. It's not just any kind of Satanism that's said to have been adopted by these pop stars. It's Illuminati symbolism, from the infamous secret society talked about in many conspiracy circles. This Illuminati is said to be the puppet masters, the invisible empire believed by many who follow conspiracy theories to control the world. Yes, that infamous superclass secret society of billionaires, mega moguls, European royalty, and elite politicians. Famous pop stars and rappers from Jay-Z and Rick Ross to Rihanna and Christina Aguilera are said by many to be satanic or Illuminati, and allegedly use Illuminati symbols in their music videos, on their clothes, and wear Illuminati jewelry that goes unnoticed, but not by those in the know. So a lot of you might be saying, right, okay, like, who are these many that have said that Christina Aguilera and Rick Ross are satanic? and it's Mark Dice and Mark Dice's friends, and the conspiracy world. The Illuminati have even been accused of murdering many famous musicians, including Michael Jackson, Tupac, Whitney Houston, and others, by fans who say that they were killed because they wouldn't go along with the industry's agenda or as a sacrifice to Satan for the final payment of their fame. Dice goes on to explain in a sort of long and labored way that music and television are powerful tools for creating emotion, and there's obviously an element of truth to this. Like, that's what music and art does. But you could accuse him of getting a little bit silly. For example, Marilyn Manson, the satanic shock rocker from the 1990s, stated that music is the strongest form of magic. As you know, music and music videos go hand in hand. Joseph Goebbels, the infamous Nazi propagandist and member of Adolf Hitler's inner circle, said that motion pictures were one of the most modern means of mass persuasion, and that film was one of the most modern and far-reaching means for influencing the public that has ever existed. That's a fucking, like, stretch before you reach like that, because you're gonna fucking
That
hurt
was
yourself.
a jump.
Wasn't it just? Like, Marilyn Manson was pictured drinking this glass of water, and fucking Hitler was seen with a glass of water once too. Coincidence? Like, it really is that. But anyway, then I don't want you to think it's all silly. Like, we then get into the hard evidence, the hard, deep research. Do you know what the 1991 meeting is, Brent? You will.
No.
Yeah, you
Do
will.
I?
Yeah, yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah, there was
Is it by some different name?
no, it's just it's a thing that suddenly appeared on the internet, and Mark Dice has got this as evidence of the corruption and satanic influence of the music industry, and this is directly from his book. The letter, titled "The Secret Meeting That Changed Rap Music and Destroyed a Generation," first surfaced on the internet in 2012 after a hip-hop news website claimed they had received it from an email, and it is quoted here in accordance with and in full compliance with fair use laws. The letter starts off saying that in 1991, the writer witnessed what he called one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. The author says that in the 80s and 90s, he worked for a major music company, and he was summoned to a meeting to discuss rap music's new direction. Among the attendees, he writes, was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stated themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be in our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign a confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. And at this point, the writer says that a speaker at the meeting revealed that he worked in the prison industry. He explained that the companies we work for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our position of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in confusion. At the time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with us. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on a number of inmates. The more inmates, the more money the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Many people are unaware that countless prisons are actually privately owned for-profit companies, not simply facilities owned by the government. These companies pay lobbyists to influence policies and judges to enact legislation and penalties that are profitable for the prisons. The letter continues. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At that point, my industry colleague, who had first opened the meeting, took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employers had become silent investors in the prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remained filled. Our job would be to help this happen by marketing music which promotes criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy personal stocks in these prisons. The man claims he was deeply disturbed after this meeting, but never spoke out publicly out of fear of losing his job or something happening to his family. But as the months passed, rap music had definitely changed direction. I was never a fan of it, but even I could tell that the difference Rap acts that talked about politics or harmless fun were quickly fading away as gangster rap started dominating the airwaves. Only a few months had passed since the meeting, but I suspect that the ideas presented that day had been successfully implemented. It was as if the order had been given to all the major label executives. The music was climbing the charts, and most companies were more than happy to capitalize on it. Each one was churning out their very own gangster rap acts on an assembly line. Everyone bought into it, consumers included. Violence and drug use became a central theme in most rap music. I spoke to a few of my peers in the industry and to get their opinions on the new trend, but was told repeatedly it was all about supply and demand. Sadly, many of them even expressed that the music reinforced their prejudice of minorities. 2 years later, he says, he left the business, and a few years later, in the late 1990s, when the internet emerged, he said he was able to do more research into the private prison industry. Now I have a greater understanding of how private prisons operate. Things make much more sense than I have ever been. I see how the criminalization of rap music played a big part in promoting racial stereotypes and misguided so many impressionable young minds into adopting these glorified criminal behaviors, which so often lead to incarceration. After 20 years of guilt had been weighing on his shoulders, he decided to write his letter and email it to various rap and hip-hop websites. He also wrote that he planned on remaining anonymous, but urged others who attended this meeting in 1991 to tell their story as well. Well, if you can't believe an anonymous message posted on the internet that bought into themes that had been talked about before that. In fact, didn't that documentary 13 come out before this? This was on about the 13th Amendment. It was certainly spoken about in Oz. Remember Oz on the telly? The prison drama. They talked about private prison industries and also how it can count for votes in certain areas in America. Every single thing that was in this supposed letter that appeared on the internet was already stuff that was being talked about on the internet, and that is why it was jumped on so heavily, because everybody said, like, oh wow, this backs up what Professor Griff has been saying, this backs up what KRS-One had previously sort of alluded to, and there's an element of truth in it. Like there is an element in truth of truth to it, that gangster rap became very popular, and it certainly sort of seemed to knock other sort of like more conscious rap off the thing. But you know, you could even make the argument, and I'm sure I probably did in the past, that like that sort of the move from lyrical content to mumble rap and the move to more simplistic lyrics. Like, I mean, I was talking about Waka Flocka Flame, but he sounds like fucking, you know, Chaucer in comparison to some of the shit that comes out nowadays. So, you know, there's arguments that there's a dumbing down of it, but like, this is an incredibly racist concept as well. Like that black people can't think for themselves, that they're going to emulate rap music and blah blah blah. And it's just like, I mean, fucking, it's an anonymous thing that was written on the internet in 2012. Like, it's like, come on, just come on. Like, but Mark Dice thinks that this is powerful evidence, essentially. But don't let that dissuade you. You see, he starts to go through the rest of the book is basically just listing artists and giving the evidence that that they are definitely in the Illuminati. And one of the first people that he speaks about is Jay-Z. Jay-Z, Dice says that Jay-Z is really rich, and he helped promote Barack Obama during his presidential run. Hence, he's definitely in the Illuminati.
Okay, I mean,
it really is
not a lot of evidence.
It's not a huge amount, is it? Like, and he genuinely says that. He says that. He then goes on to sort of explain with some sort of more evidence. For example, then this is from his book. In a behind-the-scenes interview during the making of Rihanna's "Run This Town" music video, Jay-Z was wearing a black sweatshirt with "Do What Thou Wilt" emblazoned across the front. the infamous credo of Aleister Crowley, meaning do whatever you want, no matter the consequences. You are your own God. And that's Mark Dice's interpretation of do what thou wilt. Apparently, as I say, it means do whatever you want, no matter the consequences, as you are your own God. But it doesn't mean that, right? It really doesn't, right? And this is the thing. You could look this up because it's been explained by both Crowley himself and people that have studied Crowley. It's from the Book of the Law. The phrase "do what thou wilt" shall be the whole of the law, which means that a person's life should be dedicated to discovering and fulfilling their true will. Now, we spoke about true will before, and it basically, like, there is an argument that your true will could be something quite nefarious, but that's not. It's certainly not do whatever you want, no matter the consequences. You are your own God. It's not a call to hedonism or self-indulgence. It's a strict command to align one's actions with this singular, authentic purpose, rather than with fleeting desires. The phrase is a command to live in accordance with your discovered purpose, pursuing it with all your heart, soul, and mind. The common misconception is that it means do whatever you want. But Thelema, which is the religion of Aleister Crowley, insists it's the opposite. It's a strict commitment to one's true path, excluding all other desires and distractions. But anyway, Aleister Crowley, woo, Led Zeppelin. So that's what Mark Dice thinks. But he also says Jay-Z's Rockaware clothing line actually decided to print up themselves and sold a few different designs of Illuminati and Masonic t-shirts for a period of time, which had an all-seeing eye on the chest with 13 rays of light coming out of it, along with various other occult symbols. I'll also point out just at this point that is exactly the symbol that is on the front of Mark Dice's book that I'm quoting from. So by his own logic... Jay-Z is the founder of Rockefeller Records, a name that appears to refer to the Rockefeller Illuminati family, a very powerful and infamous family followed by a long list of allegations and New World Order activities and elite secret society affiliations. His very name, Jay-Z, means Jehovah, the Latin name for God in the Old Testament, and he often refers to himself as Hove, short for Jehovah, because he considers himself to be a god. Is that? I mean, I know that's the kind of gag, Jehovah. That, like, is there more? Has he explained it in a rhyme? Is it? I thought it was just that he's very good at rapping.
Yes. See, well, Jay-Z obviously didn't mean anything to do with Jehovah, but
no,
he just brought it up in his own lyric, just to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the rap god."
Yeah. Like that's what I took it to be. I didn't think I'd take it to be a sort of serious stab at the deity, like anyway. His trademark gesture is making a pyramid using his two index fingers and thumbs whilst holding it up over one eye, symbolizing what many believe is the Illuminati's all-seeing eye. And he has made repeated occult and Illuminati references in his music, but not as a way to expose the activities of the organizations. Rather, it appears to be a tribute to them. A song titled Lucifer was released in 2004 by Danger Mouse on his Grey album that contains some disturbing messages from Jay-Z that the public should know about.
He's got that so wrong.
Well, hang on.
It's like half right, but completely wrong.
Well,
anyway,
hang on.
Carry on. Sorry.
Let's see what Mark Dice's explanation is, and let's see if you've got a more plausible explanation. While listening to the song, it's clear that several sound bites are playing backwards and are unintelligible. But when the song is played in reverse, you can clearly hear Jay-Z saying, 666, murder Jesus, and talking about murdering Catholics, leaving N-words on death's door and introducing people to demons. Is that right? How the hell's he reversed it?
No, it's literal reverse. In the song Lucifer, on the Black Album, Jay-Z, produced by Rick Rubin.
That proves it.
He says words like that somewhere along the line, somewhere in the song, but not like in a sentence. It's just they've picked out these words from that a cappella, and in
Right.
the Danger Mouse Grey
Yeah.
album, he reverses them so you can actually hear them on the real song. The real song is playing a proper beat, but the words are going viz
All right.
whatever. So oh, there's something reversed there. What does it say? So you reverse the song, and the reversed words are like "murder, murder, Jesus."
Okay, fair enough.
And so it's obviously Danger Mouse playing a joke of like backtracking, because it's not how backtracking actually works. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, of course, if you were the Illuminati and you wanted to hide in plain sight, and I don't know whether you remember, but Danger Mouse had an eye patch.
Oh,
Illuminati confirmed. There you go. They seem to miss. This is the other thing as well. It's like, what was it on Nas's first single? When I was at school, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. Like, everyone's missed that one because they're just not actually that big of fans of hip hop, to be quite honest. Anyway, Jay-Z's mentor, a fellow rapper and producer, so this is from Dice's book, who goes by the name Jaz-O, meaning Jazz the Originator, did an interview with Block TV where he stated that Jay-Z is affiliated with secret societies that practice homosexual rituals. Jaz-O made it clear that he wasn't saying Jay-Z engaged in these gay rituals himself, but he believes he's closely aligned with people who do. He's in cahoots with these individuals in those types of brotherhoods and societies who engage in homosexual activities. I didn't say he was a homo, but if you want to make that assumption, you can. There is only two ways I can know if the dude is a homo. One is if I saw it, two is if I did it. And none of those things apply. Yeah. Yeah, he is in cahoots with those brotherhoods and the people who have money on his level. Yes, they do engage in a lot of homosexual activity, and they're all in cahoots with each other. Right. Yeah, I've watched a couple of those Jaz-O interviews. Like, I get the impression that he lost his temper with Jay-Z, called him gay, and then sort of had to backtrack. I think that was it, basically.
Well, they fell out a long time ago, didn't they? They fell out ages ago because Jay-Z pretty much stole Jaz-O's flow.
Yeah, quite. So, like, and his name, according, I mean, like Ether, like, that's the reference to it? Jay-Z to Jazz.
I don't think he stole the name.
Oh, what's the line in Ether? Jaz-O to Jay-Z, man, you're on Jazz Dick. Is it?
Some shit like that, yeah.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Anyway, but Jay-Z, and this is still from Dice's book, Jay-Z once denied the Illuminati rumors in an interview on Hot 97 after host Angie Martinez asked him if any of the Illuminati devil-worshipping Freemason claims were true, saying, I don't know where it came from, and I don't know where it started. When Martinez asked if he was messing with people and doing this on purpose, he responded, no, not me, never done that before. Why would I do that? That's arsler, to be honest with you, and I think it's really silly. On his album Magna Carta Holy Grail, he addressed the rumors again in a song titled Heaven, where he said, conspiracy theorists screaming Illuminati, they can't believe this much skill is in a human body. Really? He can't believe people are saying these things, wearing an Aleister Crowley sweatshirt, saying blasphemous things about God and Jesus, flashing Illuminati hand signs and using occult imagery in his videos, visiting the White House several times and hitting the campaign trail with Obama to help him get elected, portraying the image as the big spending, high-rolling thug without a care in the world, wearing a 5% Nation medallion, a religious organization started in Brooklyn by a man calling himself God and saying that his followers were the spiritual elite of the world who knew the true secrets of the universe, launching the careers and molding the image of other Illuminati icon artists like Rihanna and Kanye West. I can't imagine why people would say these things about him. And the problem with that is that's the perfect example of circular logic, because all of it is predicated on already knowing and believing that he's in the Illuminati. It's an Illuminati hand sign. How do you know? Because of the Illuminati. Like, he visited the White House. he wore a 5% nation, and the gods and the earths. Oh, that's blasphemous. Like, it's pathetic, isn't it? Really. Like, and this is what sort of astonished me when I was reading this book. Is like, yep, this is all the shit that I remember. Going back over it, this is really thin, really, really thin. Like, and as we said, like, you could apply the same things to, say, Donovan, which they're not going to do.
Yeah.
Like, you can look at enough things to go, well, I think that's satanic. Well, I think that's satanic. Well, I think that's satanic. It's like, there's so many things that could be considered symbolic if you look at it through that lens. The lens of making
Also,
things up.
When you was reading that, I had some strong David Icke vibes there.
Mm.
The delivery of what he was saying.
Oh,
was
yeah.
Like the, please, sir, may I have some more, sir?
Oh, yeah,
All
yeah.
that
Definitely. He's not as good at it because he's American, and a lot of Americans don't understand irony.
Because he's Mark Dice.
And he's Mark Dice. Yeah. Like, so, yeah, you know.
I didn't even like him when I was a conspiracy theorist. I thought he was just...
No, I thought he was unspeakably shit and like a bandwagon jumper as well. And also, he did that thing where he'd go and like do sort of vox popsy type things where he'd just like ask people stupid questions that if you'd never thought about the question before, it's like, oh, I'm not... They were like gotcha questions, weren't they? And like they were framed in such a way that I forget what it was, all stuff like, you know, essentially trying to have a go at atheists and stuff like that, wasn't it? A lot of the time, or gun. I forget. The man's a prick. Like, you know, fuck him and all that's selling him. Basically, he also says that basically, in Empire State of Mind, the phrase "Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church ends" is included, which is obviously, you know. Ooh. So I'm not au fait with Jay-Z. I never really got on with him, to be quite honest. So, you know, it always struck me as like, yeah.
I kind of like him, but I don't think he's one of the top 10. I don't think he's one of the best, really. I like some stuff. I really like the Black Album, but yeah, I'm not that sold on him.
No. Like, also he spits off the top but he doesn't write his lyrics down. And as mentioned in the past, that he calls it his Rain Man shit. And a lot of people think that Rain Man is some sort of demon or some sort of explanation that they're allowing themselves to be possessed. And this is essentially from the fact that Jay-Z mentioned it. There's a song where Eminem says Rain Man on it. And then wasn't Umbrella by Rihanna sort of deemed to be some sort of like I think
but only from the music video.
Well, where she turns into a demon. I do believe that we talk about that like it shortly. So anyway, he continues like because he's here's one, and this can tell you how long ago this book came out. Kanye West. Like Dice says that he must be Illuminati because he's on Rockefeller, and Rockefeller is owned by Jay-Z, who's Illuminati, and we've seen all the evidence that Jay-Z is Illuminati, so there's no getting around that, no matter how hard you try. Also, he pretended to be a bit like Jesus in the video for Jesus Walks, and it's like, are you fucking silly? Like, Jesus Walks was overtly religious, overtly anti-gangster rap, like to the point where he got criticized for it by gangster rappers. Does he dress as Jesus in the video? Or wear crown of thorns?
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember the video.
Can you remember who definitely did dress up as Jesus and was crucified in their video? Nas and P. Diddy on Hate Me Now. Can't remember the video for that. They were both like carrying. They're dressed as Jesus in loincloths with crowns of thorns on, dragging the crucifixes up the hill while it's being having stones thrown at them, and then they rap the song from about being crucified. And
The song's so good.
No, the song is really good, but like
Mm-hmm.
they got significant pushback for that. Some suggesting that like portraying themselves as like as Christ seemed a bit arrogant.
Well, but hey, let's be fair here. Maybe they weren't portraying themselves as Christ. Maybe they were portraying themselves as the two criminals that were crucified next to Christ.
I think they were going for the Christ thing, and I think there was a lot of cocaine involved.
Yeah, but there's two of them. There's two of
Yeah.
them. They can't both be.
Well, it's like, you know, that's not the most bizarre thing that Puff Daddy's ever done, if we're honest.
And Jesus isn't the only person to have ever been crucified, is he? Come on.
I think they appeared on the cover of Rolling Stone as well. There was significant pushback from it. I forget which book it's in. It's in one of it's in I can't remember. It's in one of the hip hop books. Like, oh, thanks, Neil. That narrows it down. Like, like I can't remember now. I've drawn a total blank. But yeah, look it up. Apparently, like they got
look it up, that hip hop book.
No, look up the fact that they were initially happy, but then not happy with how they came across in the "Hate Me Now" video. But I think as well it's because it samples Carmina Burana as well, isn't it? Which is like, you know, long been associated erroneously with like the Exorcist, and I think it was used in the Doors in that sort of quasi satanic ritual. But so it's a, you know, it's a devilishy sounding sort of song, and yeah, it's awesome. Anyway, Dice goes on. Kanye West isn't shy about his God complex, appearing on the cover of Rolling Stone in 2006 as Jesus, wearing a crown of thorns, and later releasing a track titled "I Am a God" on his Yeezus album. Yeezus being a perversion of the name Jesus. After Beyonce gave birth to Jay-Z's child named Blue Ivy, Kanye gave Jay-Z a gold-plated human skull covered in gemstones, valued at $34,000 for Father's Day. He even reportedly had it shipped via a private jet. The sod. Freemasons and other occultists often have a human skull or replica, he puts in brackets. Oh, replica. On their desk in their chamber of reflection to remind them of their mortality and impending death, to inspire them to achieve all of their goals in this life here and now, since they do not believe in any afterlife. Yeah, Freemasonry is not a religion, and Freemasonry, like, they absolutely do believe in an afterlife, a lot of them. Like, so Mark Dice doesn't know what he's talking about. He also, though, points out that Kim Kardashian, yeah, right, she once did that thing, yeah, with the blood treatment on her face, which kind of sort of reminds him of Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, come on, fuck off. Like, are you serious? I mean, if you wanted to go that far, like, surely any type of plastic surgery is a corruption of the workings of God.
Yeah.
How far do you want to go with this silly nonsense? Like, you know, I mean, like, which is it? Is it Christian scientists, sorry, that won't go to doctors and stuff like that because they believe that? Like, I mean, like, go and listen to our Kate Shamrani series. That stupid Patrick Byrne guy. He's like, his religious beliefs say that you shouldn't keep people on life support and crazy things like that because that's interfering with God. And he has very strange ideas about brain death and stuff like that. It's like, again, it's very choose your own adventure shit, isn't it? Like, you can discard whatever you want. You can, like, you can build your own proofs, essentially. Anyway, he concludes on Kanye West. This scumbag's antics and obvious egomania could have been sparked by studying occult philosophies from Aleister Crowley and others who teach you that you are God or can become God by evolving your consciousness through various satanic practices. Are you fucking right in the head? Right, that's his absolute conclusion. Right, okay. They could have come, like, this egomania that this guy could have come from studying the occult. Who could say? That's literally what he fucking. Oh my god! After all, it was Satan in the Garden of Eden. They said that Adam and Eve could become like God by partaking in the forbidden fruit to open their eyes and mind to the secret powers Satan offered. It wasn't Satan in the Garden of Eden, was it? It was just a snake. And it wasn't offering all the secret powers of Satan. Adam Dice. What's his name? Mark Dice. Who's Adam Dice? I don't know. Anyway, Mark Dice doesn't know what he's fucking talking about. But anyway, let's not get bogged down. Little Wayne, right?
Lil Weezy.
Lil Weezy, yeah, he says, and I'm paraphrasing, but Dice contends in the strongest possible of terms that Weezy has not only appeared in one photo shoot / video wearing devil horns for a portion of it, but he's also heard rumors that he might be gay, and so that proves it. It's like, sorry, being gay is apparently anti-God now. And the being gay rumors comes from the fact that he used to kiss Birdman, who's his adoptive father, on the lips, even though they were adults, which is a bit weird. Like, but, you know, each to their own. And, you know, nothing about the fact that he promotes fucking gang culture, that he, like, as a grown man, he decided to, like, pretend to be a fucking blood. Like, isn't that more detrimental to society? Like, you know, if you're going down the homophobia route, what about, and to be fair, I don't know when this book came out and when he said this, but when he says suck a guy's dick for some truck fit, which was possibly one of the worst marketing phrases that you could have used in hip hop, particularly at that time when it was considered rather a masculine thing. You know, you could even make the argument that as a grown man, like, spending all his time fucking sipping lean, for Christ's sake. Like, are these not worse things that Weezy's done? But no, apparently, according to Dice, it's the fact that he might just possibly, like, fancy men, which is just not on, is it? Oh, what a prick. Anyway, Professor Griff of Public Enemy fame. I think you're going to see. Anyway, Professor Griff claims that Tupac was asked by a famous record producer to have sex with him, but when Tupac said no, that's when he was marked for death. That was Quincy Jones. Like, I've seen Griff do that thing. I don't know why Mark Dice doesn't want to print Quincy Jones's name. He was going out with Quincy Jones's daughter. Like, Tupac wasn't they engaged? Is it Khadijah or Khadijah or something like that? Something like that.
But yeah, he was. Yeah, he was engaged to was it his daughter or granddaughter?
I don't know, but there was a direct connection, wasn't there? Yeah. Like, yeah. So, but anyway, Griff said if rappers didn't shoot one another up, if someone didn't get raped or someone didn't get robbed, they would provide an incident for something to go down because they're setting hip hop up for destruction, right? Griff also believes homosexuality is on the rise, and they made the new cleavage become the butt crack, referring to people wearing saggy pants exposing their underwear or butt, a style some claim came from gay prisoners who advertised that they were gay by showing off their butt cracks. That's not true. That's not true at all, right? That was the silliest rumor that's been going around, and people still repeat that to the day. It comes from prison culture, but it doesn't come from a lot of things come from prison culture. You know why people wear sliders at the minute, right? Because that's what you get in fucking prison, right? It's people trying to emulate being hard, right? That's really what it is. The baggy clothes trend came from the fact that basically in prisons, you give a shit. They give you like a state issue tracksuit. You get a grey tracksuit in UK prisons. Why do you think chavs wear tracksuits? It's to emulate prison culture, right? Same thing with baggy clothes. What happened was in America, basically, there's essentially two sizes. Too small, extra small and extra large, and everybody wore the extra large, and it was massively baggy. And because it was baggy, and because you weren't allowed belts, right, because you'd hang yourself with them or strangle somebody, your trousers sagged down and you'd have to keep pulling them up. this style was emulated. People would visit the prisons or see pictures of prisoners, or when prisoners left prison, they would continue to wear that style that they'd become accustomed to, and it became de rigueur, right? It's nothing to do with homosexuality. Have you fucking seen like 1990s prison documentaries and stuff like that, right? You can tell who the gay prisoners are because most of them are dressed like women. Like they've got like their vests tied up like tank tops. They'll have their shorts cut off into like little like Daisy Duke type shorts and stuff like that. It's nothing to do with sagging your pants. Like sagging your pants was again, like it was partly the prison thing, and it was also partly to insinuate that you might be carrying a gun. That's it. It's nothing to do with homosexuality. And Griff is a dickhead for saying that because he knows that's not true, right? He's just he's evidently his own personal prejudices that he's found an avenue to persecute. Griff committed the entertainment industry's cardinal sin. Right. Mark Dice presents this as positive. You know what it is. You surely know what it is. The cardinal sin that Griff did, right? Let's see how Mark Dice describes it. Griff committed the entertainment industry's cardinal sin when, during a 1989 interview with David Mills of the Washington Times, he reportedly made several anti-Semitic statements, including allegedly that, and I quote, Jews are responsible for the majority of wickedness in the world. Griff insisted that this statement was taken out of context. And the audio of the interview was never released for people to hear it in its entirety. I've heard the audio of him saying that. And then he clarifies it afterwards by saying, yes, Jews. And it's because he was heavily into The International Jew by Henry Ford. Like, and this led to him being kicked out of Public Enemy. Do you know what Chuck D of Public Enemy said when he was questioned on whether Griff was anti-Semitic or not?
Griff has never lied to me.
Fucking A, absolutely. Which is something that Public Enemy, fans of Public Enemy, and Chuck D himself do well to sweep under the carpet, because it does sort of sound like he agrees with him. He then went on to Griff did a solo album. Can you remember what his solo album was called?
No.
Pawns in the Game. It's not very good. Griff also went on to write books on the Illuminati. I've got them, and so he did The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop. This book and its second volume, Symbology, discusses the perceived manipulation and takeover of hip hop culture by external forces, often linked to the Illuminati and secret societies. It explores how the music industry allegedly shifted from a conscious movement to one focused on sex, money, and murder, which he argues is detrimental to the black community and youth. So it's essentially, that's where, remember the 1991 meeting that was definitely not completely made up? These were the things that were being discussed by sort of by various people within the hip hop community. Symbology, which is the second book, specifically examines the signs and symbols used by various organizations, including Greek fraternities and sororities, the Black Church, and the Illuminati's influence on the food industry. He's basically just looking for symbols and signs. And like it's one of these things where it's like they're selling sex, they're selling drugs, they're selling violence, they're selling food that's bad for you. It's the Illuminati. It's like, it's not the Illuminati. Well, I mean, it is in a sense. It's it's capitalism. That's what it is. This fucking idea as well that, like, you know, music was like completely spiritual and like nice right up until the 90s or whatever, when people say, we've already discussed Mellow Yellow was about a fucking vibrator, right? What do you think a whole lot of shaking going on is about? Wait till you find out what fucking Jailhouse Rock's about. Breaking the law, apparently. The rumor is that Breaking the Law by Judas Priest is about being secretly gay, which, if it is fucking awesome.
Sodomy.
It's fucking awesome. That's the most punk rock thing in the world. Like putting out a song like that celebrates homosexuality whilst mocking it and disguising it in a catchy chorus. Fucking yes, Judas Priest. Anywho, Drake. Mark Dice is very angry with Drake. And can you guess what it is that basically makes him think that he might be Illuminati? And there was a clue in what he said about Lil Wayne.
I don't know. I was going to go for the OVO owl logo.
Well, there is that, but he also thinks that he looks kind of gay. But it's not just that he looks gay, right? Okay. It's the fact that he's, well, I'll just read this. After getting signed by Lil Wayne's Young Money Entertainment, Drake, whose real name is Aubrey, which is a gay-sounding name, in my opinion, if I've ever heard one.
Oh, my God.
It's like, see, he doesn't have a say in it. But he's also adopted the symbol of an owl as his logo, an owl looking almost identical to the mascot of Bohemian Grove. Drake wears T-shirts featuring the owl. He put it on his album cover, and he even has a tattoo on his right shoulder of the mysterious image. So yeah, he looks kind of gay. He's got a gay real name, and owls. So definitely. Now this is an interesting one. This is an interesting. Mark Dice then brings up Tupac.
Okay.
Right. Now, this is interesting because, and people that are fans of Tupac or have knowledge of Tupac might sort of be able to foresee what is coming here. Tupac was definitely using his music to raise awareness about important social issues like racism, drug abuse, violence, and the value of an education. But was he trying to expose the Illuminati too? Many of his fans believe this, but will be very disappointed when they learn of a little-known interview he gave before about this very subject and the meaning of his term, Killuminati. In the course of their discussion, when the interviewer mentions the Illuminati, Tupac responds, N-Words just telling me about this Illuminati shit when I'm in jail, right? Like, you got to listen to all this. That's another way for them to keep your self-esteem low. That's another way to keep you unconfident. And I'm putting a K because I'm killing that Illuminati shit. Trust me, if these motherfuckers wanted to kill you, why the fuck would they tell Louis Farrakhan? Why are they going to tell the Nation of Islam? Why are they going to tell this N-word in jail about the plan? How did he know? How did it leak to him? Who told him? The Pope? Who? Because they like the Pope and the money. Oh, come on, man, get the fuck out of here. Disappointed, but Mark Dice continues. While Tupac was said to be an avid reader, he really missed the boat on this one because there were plenty of books available while I was alive that detailed the history of the Illuminati and the evidence of its continued existence. He then lists 2 books as absolute proof that the Illuminati exists and says that Tupac is an idiot for not reading these 2 books. Do you want to have a guess which 2 books?
None dare call it conspiracy and proofs of conspiracy.
Fucking A, absolutely.
Both?
Exactly. Yeah, spot on. Spot on. Both of those were the proof that Mark Dice is disappointed that Tupac, rather than listening to the logic of what Tupac is saying there.
Right.
Like,
and he's saying about all that stuff being in prison. All of those books are in the prisons. And that's what, he's spot on. Tupac is spot on with what he's saying.
Yeah, absolutely. This is this is the thing. But yeah, he's angry with Tupac. One rapper that he's less angry with, but I fear I don't think he quite gets it. Prodigy of Mobb Deep, huge fan of Mobb Deep. Huge fan of Prodigy. He's one of my favorite rappers of all time. It is amazing. So Mark Dice writes, Prodigy is a rapper. Prodigy is a rapper and a member of the duo Mobb Deep. who released his second solo album, HNIC, in 2008, that included a song titled Illuminati, telling the evils of this secret society, and includes a chorus line saying, Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society trying to keep their eye on me. While in prison for illegally possessing a weapon, he penned a 5-page letter about the Illuminati and the music industry, saying in part, Jay-Z and Jazzo were both raised in their teenage years in Dr. Dwight York's New Wobbian community in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Jay-Z knows the truth, but he chose sides with evil in order to be accepted in the corporate world and promotes the lifestyle of the beast instead. Jay-Z is a goddamn lie. I have so much fire in my heart that I will relentlessly attack Jay-Z, Illuminati, and every other evil that exists until my lights are out. I've been empowered by God and the universe. He goes on to write about negative energy many mainstream rappers are playing with, saying, this negative energy is created and harnessed by the Illuminati secret government, and it will make you spread this energy without even knowing it. But people like Jay-Z are very well aware. He was schooled by Dr. York. So if you're aware and still spread it, what does that make you? Who and what do you represent? I'm not saying these bad things about Jay-Z because we had a rap beef. Jay-Z is not the only aware rapper that sided with evil, but he's the most influential. So, Prodigy got into the Illuminati theory like really heavily. He was watching and referencing Jordan Maxwell. I think he was referencing David Icke. This was at a time as well when Jedi Mind Tricks were referencing David Icke very heavily. On that particular album, HNIC2, like there's a song where he says they lit the Pentagon on fire. That's like lighting a pentagram on fire. He also accuses, or he says that the Queen is essentially the power behind the Illuminati, and she essentially rules America. Other things that people don't know about Prodigy is that in his book, My Infamous Life, the autobiography of Mobb Deep's Prodigy, which is excellent, Prodigy recounts seeing UFOs on multiple occasions. There was in 1998, during a positive period in his life, he recalled seeing a green fiery UFO, and he interpreted this as an auspicious sign, believing that God's angels use green fire whilst evil forces use red. Around 2004, he saw another UFO that shone an array of coloured lights into his home. The whole neighbourhood experienced a power outage at the time, and this sighting occurred during a negative lifestyle period, which made him feel like he was being visited by a fallen angel. In one of his final interviews on the Viceland show, The Therapist, Prodigy discussed his pain, his search for spirituality, and the supernatural experiences that led to his openness for such forces. He mentioned that he had asked for it to come, suggesting he believed that he could summon these UFOs. Interesting. Prodigy, again, rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. Like, astonishing. I heavily sympathized because at the time that he was getting into all this shit was when I was like heavily into all this shit, and because of the nature of it, you just see confirmations of it everywhere. Like, I mean, listen to all the shit that we've been saying over these past few episodes. Like, someone's got an eye patch on, someone's got covering an eye, someone's holding their fingers up, someone's doing this, someone's wearing red, someone's got devil horns, someone's got a trident, anything. Like anything, nothing is a joke or symbolic or a sign and signifier. Everything is to be taken literally and to be seen as a symbol. And particularly when you're playing fast and loose with whatever it is that you consider satanic, anything that's not Christianity, like, you know, Babylonian stuff, like, you know, Incan shit, anything could be considered as anti-Christian. And so if you've got imagination, you can certainly pick at these things pretty easily. So anyway, what's this new Wobbianism that apparently Jay-Z was raised in, and Prodigy rates, or at least says that basically with a formal knowledge of this, Jay-Z should have some sort of understanding about the Illuminati. This is the belief system of the United Nuwaubian Nation, which is an American black nationalist new religious movement, which was founded by Dwight York, also known as Malachi York. Malachi York is referenced by non-fiction and Ill Bill And I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there's quite a lot of references to him. I've off the top of my head, I can't think of any more. But so he started this in New York in the sort of late 60s. But the movement went through numerous changes in its name, doctrine, practices. It incorporates eclectic elements from various sources, including Islam, Judaism, ancient Egyptian motifs, New Age philosophy, UFO religions, and the sovereign citizen movement. But the New Wahabian worldview, which York refers to as factology rather than theology, so you know it's real, is a form of radical materialism that dismisses the existence of a purely spiritual realm. So, key aspects of this belief are that race is central to New Wahabianism. They believe in black nationalism. York's teachings evolved, eventually claiming that black people are descendants of extraterrestrial beings called the Anunnaki Elohim from the planet Rizq, while white people, Palamen or Amorites, they're originated from lizard-like reptoids or were the result of a curse, often being framed negatively as white devils. So York promoted this myth of black origins tied to ancient Egypt and Sumerian civilizations, which he claimed were built by the Anunnaki. And where did he get his ideas from? Zecharia Sitchin. So all his ancient astronaut theories, and he claimed that that he, as an extraterrestrial called Yarnoon, had come to Earth to save 144,000 chosen black people from destruction, which is, it's the prophecy from the Bible, which was then erroneously said to have been used by Charles Manson. It was actually a prophet called Krishna Venter, but let's not get sidetracked. They also believed that the movement is millenarian, with York prophesying an apocalypse in the early 2000s, during which spaceships would arrive to rescue the righteous followers of him. I think it's needless to say these prophecies failed to materialize. And I'm pretty sure that Prodigy was talking about this after this failed to happen. And, and also, it's full of shit. It's a UFO cult. It's not only a UFO cult, it's a UFO sex cult. The movement originated as a Muslim group in Brooklyn, New York, before relocating to the compound called the Tamaray in Georgia in 1993. The compound featured Egyptian-themed structures, and in 2002, the FBI raided the compound following allegations of child molestation. Malachi York was convicted in 2004 of racketeering and child molestation charges, receiving a 135-year sentence. Yeah, it's almost as if he made the entire thing up just so that he could have sex with young people. Not dissimilar to John Todd, which is, yeah.
I was going to say there was a theme here.
Yeah, there certainly seems to be, doesn't it? Like, it's people lying to people to get something out of them for themselves. I wonder if that theme will continue.